Hi, it's Dr. Paxton. I'm back again. I want to talk about yet another reason why we're different. I want to talk about another reason that we've put into play very intentionally to make sure that we can give you the absolute best care that we know how, the best care that's available for that matter. I want to talk about what we call pinning motion analysis and motion x-ray. Now, if you go to the doctor and he or she takes an x-ray of you and they're telling you to stand as close and as still and as tight as you can and don't move, and they're taking a film and then turning the other way and taking another x-ray, and that's all they're doing, the 1950s called, they want their static x-rays back. We need to be doing motion analysis in 2023, and here's why. The science is clear. Motion is life. Life is movement. Movement is life. Even a single cell amoeba in a lake somewhere, one single cell, if you poke it with a pen under a microscope, it will move away from its position because movement is the truest marker and indicator of life. So how you move is how you live. If you can't move, you can't live. It's just that simple. That's just the way it works. Now, with that being said, why then, if we understand that, and we understand that motion is life, and we're talking about movement and the nervous system and the joints and all the things that we talk about so frequently, if we're talking about movement that importantly, why then would we take like a frozen selfie x-ray with no motion whatsoever? That stuff is dead. That stuff is gone. Thank God. We've moved on. It's a new day. It's 2023. We need to be taking motion analysis. So we can start with a picture just like this one, which is the side view of someone's neck, who has a horrific cervical curve, by the way, in case you were curious. But nonetheless, this is the neck curve here. These are the shoulders. Here's the skull facing that way. But then look, we take another film and then we get to see, I'm starting to notice some arthritic buildup right here in this disc right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So C5, C6, we're starting to notice some arthritic buildup here. But I start to notice why when I ask the patient to tuck their chin. I ask that patient to simply tuck their chin and look down, and now I'm noticing there's zero motion. And we can do an analysis that I won't bore you with for today, but there's zero motion on that film when the patient goes forward. So now I can see the end point of the range of motion for this, and I can do the same thing when we have the patient look backwards. And I notice there's very little motion at C5, C6 when the patient goes into extension, which means to look up or to tilt your head backwards. That breakdown in motion when we move forward and backwards, that's starving that area of input from the brain. It's starving that area from hydration into that disc, into that squishy shock absorber between the bone. And that's causing that arthritic decay that you're starting to see. They're starting to develop a bone spur. We're getting really close to bone on bone here in the back. So this patient absolutely must take action and not wait. But now I fully understand what the problem is. And I was only able to see the breakdown in motion when the patient went into flexion and extension. We can keep going. We can do the same thing for the lumbar spine. Now we've got the patient standing erect. You're looking at the patient like you're looking at me. Very straightforward x-ray. But then I asked that patient to bend to the right. So that patient bent off to the right. And now we can see some breakdowns in motion. You see how all of these tilt and form a nice curvature. Look at the bottom two. They don't tilt, they don't move. That's a problem. That's a breakdown in motion. And then I had the patient bend to the left. There it is, bend to the left. And that was that patient's really sorry attempt to try to bend to the left. It didn't go so hot, as you can see. There's no motion whatsoever. That patient is completely restricted with left motion. That's a problem. But you don't know if you don't look. To not look is to not know. To not look is to guess. And I'm not going to guess with your health. No doctor that works in this clinic is going to guess with your health. It's too valuable. You mean too much. Your health means too much. It's not okay. So we have to look. We have to know. No x-ray, no treatment unless you're pregnant or you're a baby, because we have to know and understand not only what the structure looked like. And people that come in here that still have fractures from injuries years ago that what we call disunions that never healed. How would we know if we don't look? They don't necessarily always hurt. There's not always a symptom associated with it. Do you want me messing with your spine if it's got an old fracture in it? If it's got degenerative disc disease in it, if it's got arthritis? We need to first understand that everything that's okay and not okay, and then we need to understand the motion and the motion patterns and the breakdown of the motion patterns so that we can get that restored back to normal. Because if you get that back to normal, it drives your brain function, through the roof, it drives your health through the roof, and you get your life back because you get to feel better first, then you get to get better. And then we check it periodically to make sure that you stay better. And that's why we're different, because we require motion series x-rays, because that is the gold standard in the best available care in 2023.